Hi, good morning. Today is July 3rd, day after my celebration of um, the welcoming of a new decade. And the more decades becomes more decades of wisdom and youth. And that's the way I conceptualize growth and spirit. And I'm not a religious person, but giving thanks to a lot of things I've done in my life. And one thing I've come to really question is the treatment of individuals as human persons. I'm a professor in training, actually, and my background is teaching pedagogy, women's studies, and environmental justice, so looking at local and international mechanisms of solving environmental hazards and or addressing environmental hazards, I should say, that affect. I want to start with poor communities. Why is it that they're being unfairly exposed to environmental hazards? And in my own life, one of the things that I've actually questioned is what exactly is this mental health thing? Because I actually left 29 years of violence and relocated from one province to another. And I now live in central Canada and in a place that's known as sort of this global hub for all kinds of stuff. But there's a lot of racialization, there's a lot of instrumentation into poverty. And I'm not understanding this. As a professor in training, I took some time off, looking around for some work in my area, just to do some fun things for at least a year. And it's been very taxing, very taxing. I'm going through the situation right now, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because I'd like to get some feedback from the viewers, the global viewers, about these types of situations. You don't hear about this in the news, so I'm going to create the news for you and get a critical discussion going with the general public around how do we actually collaborate around these problems. So anyways, so I came into contact with this thing called a mental health system. And I'm not even understanding what this thing called mental health is. I find it's very pathetic. I find that it actually needs to be downgraded to psychology. And all of these practitioners that prescribe synthetics and pharmaceuticals need to actually have their license taken away, because when you're dealing with healing and enriching the human system, you don't give people pharmaceuticals. And I've had some experiences, and quite frankly, when I'm working on sort of the development of my intellectual capital, I don't appreciate always having to revert back to this thing called mental health. So anyways, what had happened was I came into contact with this system in a very strange way. And it actually imposed an obstruction of 100% on my ability to complete my things I'm doing in my life. So in other words, it imposed 100% on things I'm doing in my life. So I'm going through a process right now trying to reinstate some things, and one of my questions is, why exactly are we going through these experiences? If you look at me, I'm actually a person from an African diaspora experience. My background is Canada, Jamaica, all of West Africa, and Nubia. And why exactly am I going through this experience? Second thing is, there seems to be these mechanisms in place where people who think that they're protected by unions need to understand that they are not protected by unions, because people, for some reason, in Toronto, Ontario, you should see this unionized environment. All these unions, the people in these unions, they don't even look like the global community, and they don't even think like the global community. So that's evidence of discrimination and instrumentation of poverty. And my thing is, how do you actually get rid of these unions? Because they don't do anything, they don't do any justice, they don't do any good at all. And I understand that there are mechanisms in this world that exploit labor, but I'm talking about the global economic north. we have to address these serious problems here first before we decide to go abroad to other places and colonize other places through our, not through mine particular, because I don't even think like some of these individuals to just go abroad and colonize other people with their ideas. But there are some mechanisms in place that are used to marginalize very progressive people in the economic north. So my question, again, another question is, how do you actually address all this stuff and start public discussions about this? I'm going to put this actually maybe on my Facebook, I'm not sure. But there's, a couple things that that I've been thinking about, and my mentioning of, actually on the internet I should say, because when you mention one name it could be free advertising, and what has that name done for me? It hasn't done anything for me. So what exactly can we do to collaborate as a global community around some of these issues? As a matter of fact, yesterday I was actually on the phone in California to some bits in California, and I actually wanted to get in touch with Angelina Jolie's and Julia Roberts' talent agency to see if I could get some work around some film and TV stuff, because I get a lot of people telling me to get into this film and TV thing. So, and I've never done it before. But I find that when you actually are put in an environment where you can move just move naturally and not even see all the cameras around, then you know what, you can actually bring out some really beautiful things through, and magical moments through film and TV. So there's a couple things happening here, and I thought I'd just share this video with you. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I wish you all a wonderful day today. I'll be putting up more videos frequently because I really want to start engaging in discussion with the global community, because you really are my supporters, and you really are, it's really nice to hear some of your commentary. So, hope to hear from you soon. Take care.